And you're now listening to TLKInfamous.
What's up? Welcome back to Talk Infamous. As you know, you got Saint here and you got Social Lee.
Hey guys.
How was your week?
It was very productive.
Yeah.
I'll be all over the place.
You had a care package event, right?
Yes, we had the care package open mic for Juneteenth. It was beautiful. We got to see a lot of poets, rappers, singers. So it was dope, and definitely some new performers too. So
Yeah. And I know it's like a speakeasy type vibe. It's very intimate.
You feel me? So it was cute. It was cute and calm.
Definitely make sure you guys follow Care Package and make sure you get all the latest info. And they got some good, if you know what I'm talking about. They sell some good stuff. But this week we really want to tap into Zeus Network. I put it out, I gave people option what we should speak about, and Zeus Network was the biggest had the biggest attention. I feel understandably wise, because I feel especially when it comes to pop culture, black pop culture, within the recent year or last 2 years, Zeus Network has made a big stamp as far as success within the black culture. And I have my own concerns about it, my own feelings. So I feel we can it's definitely some things that we could speak about. But I guess first we should start off with some of the black media outlets when it comes to TV stations and television and media that we already know of, which set the blueprint for kind of a Zeus Network.
Yes.
So what are some that you think of?
BET. That's
BET,
automatically definitely. VH1.
Yeah. Owned by Oprah.
Allegedly.
Allegedly, exactly.
Listen, and BET obviously is not black owned anymore. I think they sold it off more than 10 years ago.
Yes.
But if you're talking about Zeus, we gotta talk about BET because or VH1, because a lot of those platforms, they was basically giving platforms to a lot of black people.
Right. And before we get into BET, I just want to give a shout out to the original owner. He was black. His name is Robert Johnson, I believe. Yeah, Robert Johnson. I just want to make sure we get that out there. His name was Robert Johnson.
Okay.
No longer the founder.
Okay. I mean, not a shout out. He sold it off. So
yeah, not a shout out, but I just want to make sure that because for the longest time, I thought it was always white owned, and then I realized it was initially black owned. And that's going to be relevant to the point I'm making later on.
Yeah. Okay. But yeah, so a lot of stuff that they depict is they do have some good shows on there, and some good movies too. But sometimes a lot of the images that we see is kind of depicting violence. Yeah. It's always black people in a struggle. Right. And those are just some of the points that I've seen on BET. Even with VH1, you see the reality TV shows, and a lot of times these reality TV shows, no matter if you white or black on the show, they kind of make you kind of look like a fool. Yeah. Respectfully. If deserved.
Not disrespectfully.
No, not disrespectfully.
Not respectfully, because if you want to look like a fool, you signed up for that.
That's what I'm saying. Respectfully to those that know how to carry themselves, and those that are walking puppets, for lack of a better term.
Right.
But those are some of the shows some of the networks that were for black people or allegedly owned by black people. Right. I
feel like for me with BET, me when I was a kid, I was very much a TV kid, but I was solely towards Disney Channel. I was young, so Disney Channel was my life. I'll get into Nickelodeon, but I was a Disney Channel kid, religiously watching it. So when I started to grow up and even delve into pop culture outside of Disney Channel, because Disney Channel itself is pop culture for us, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But on an adult level, I remember even when I was a kid, I remember because my brothers and my sisters used to watch BET, so I used to get glimpses of it. And outside of 106 in Park, when I used to see things, I never seen anything that resonate with me. You know what I mean? Because it was always depicting black people within a certain way.
Right.
And I think had I been grown up in a different era, because I know BT even on 106 in Park went through its different eras. By the time it got to my era, when I was kind of conscious of it, rap in itself, that was the early 2000s when I used to get glimpses of it. It was very much gangster rap and very much flashy. It's and I didn't see myself. So I never was able to resonate with BET in a way that was authentic. Also, but I do have to give shout outs because I remember of course we had some highlights, the game. I feel now that I'm watching it as an older kid, as an older adult, I can see that they did a great job at depicting blackness. Girlfriends.
Yeah, that's true.
Even though I'm not sure his Girlfriends was originally a BET show, I think
I think Girlfriends was my 9. But
Exactly.
even so, that still matters because these companies get licensing to have these type
That's
of
true.
TV shows on their show. So they're still, representing themselves in a type of way.
That's true, but I feel like BET itself, like you said, when it comes to like producing content as outside of 106 and Park, from what I've seen, they never really depicted black people in the most highlighted way, the best way.
Yeah.
But now that we went through BET, I mean, we got to go into Zeus. For me, I did some research because when I first got introduced to Zeus, I was like, oh, here we go, another media outlet that's exploiting black people. It must be not owned by a black man or a black person. And then a couple years I found out it was, and I did my own research recently, and I really got to delve into who he was. His name is Lemmy Plummer.
Yeah.
And his background was very surprising to me because he's very like knowledgeable. He came from a really great background.
Yeah, that was interesting too because I didn't know that he already had family that was in the business.
So he pretty much grew up in the business. His family owned religion TV stations. So pretty much they came out the same time as Bob Johnson released BET.
Okay.
Yeah, so they came out within the same era, and a lot of the TV that the production and stuff they were producing was for religious content. And then he kind of got his foot in through the door by then because he was studying cinematography and editing. Yeah. And then he kind of made his way into the industry by I think he started off at ABC as a PA in LA for Extreme Home Makeover Edition. That show. Yeah.
Oh wow, you did your research.
I did my research.
Right.
And then after that, he kind of went into let me just check out my notes real quick. At the age of 21, he got signed a deal with BET to become executive producing content for them. And then he later sold a show to I believe Oxygen called The Preachers of LA. It was a whole franchise.
I remember that show.
Yeah, by the age of 24.
I didn't know he. I don't know if he produced that, but I don't know he was a part of that project.
No, that was his show. He sold the show and he produced it.
Okay.
Cool. So he has a really great resume. And then even when the show for BET he produced was called Vindicated, was about I believe it was about wrongfully convicted felons and their lives. Okay. So he has a very impressive resume. Yeah. So like he said, like his larger goal was to kind of like produce for himself. He wanted to like have a full service production company that was fully black because it's hard to find that within the LA Hollywood space or just in the entertainment industry regardless. And then he also wanted to be one of the first, black streaming networks.
Black streaming networks. I feel like that's powerful because, there's 7 big platforms, Viacom and etc. Yeah. There's not a lot of like black owned cable companies. Yeah. That's crazy. Yeah. Honestly, I didn't know he came from that background. And I knew the Zeus Network was by a black person and he was young too. So that was impressive. And honestly, when they first launched the series and stuff, I was kind of apprehensive because I was like, I don't want to like get a subscription and play into the stigma of perpetrating this type of image that these executive producers put on. Even though he does have a black platform. Yeah. Even though he does have experience of working with black entertainment. Yeah. And creating his own direction, I feel like his path has kind of got deterred. That's the right word.
That's why, because me, like you said, not like knowing his background, I was like, damn, like he has such great experience, such great knowledge, and such great insight that a lot of people who don't, like even people in the industry, like executives, whether black, white, or whatever, they don't have because he has it because he was raised in this industry. So he has all these resources as a black man to elevate our culture. And I feel like his thing has definitely been swayed in a sense for me because like I didn't want to log in at all. Like I seen clips of it. I felt like I already knew what it was going to give. I'm not gonna lie, his formula is brilliant. Like he's taking all these people from different platforms, from VH1, from social media, and then he's giving them an outlet. But I feel like he could just navigate it a lot differently. I feel like he said his end goal is to become the first black owned internet provider and cable providers, like you said, like Comcast. And I feel like he has everything in him to do so, but it's like, at what cost are you going to do it? Is it because are you going to really exploit our culture just to do that? Yeah. I feel like when I was watching the interview, because he talks about all these things, all the past experiences, all the things he's been doing. And I think for a lot of times we can get caught up in, okay, he's highlighting all the things he's doing, but what are you doing now? You know? It's not about what you did before for, you know, those things like the Preachers of LA and, you know, the show about convicted felons. But are you still following integrity? Are you still doing your game plan?
That's the right word, integrity.
Right. Yeah, and I understand, like, I feel like a lot of times, especially in the entertainment industry, it's easy for people to get swayed because, you know, we have this idea that drama sells and that the juicier and the sensationalized stuff is what people want. And to agree is right, but I feel like you can have a drama but make it authentic.
I agree with that, but also I don't want to like paint him to be a bad guy. I'm not saying you are.
I'm not.
You're just speaking facts and what you actually see, and it's coming from an honest opinion. But what I would say is that he does have different TV shows on the Zeus network that don't depict, you know, females fighting all day or men fighting with each other. Like you have the show with Drea where you were just seeing her journey in terms of making her own business.
That show was released?
Yeah, that was a release. It didn't
release because you don't know.
No, it released, but I don't think it did that great because I think I see the clip it. I think I see the episode, but I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know if they kept following through with the episodes, but either way, it was about her entrepreneurship. And, you know, that still highlighted a Black woman in her own limelight in a positive way. But yes, there is other shows like Jocelyn's Cabaret. And Jocelyn's Cabaret was the first show that I seen that kind of brought Zeus Network to the spotlight.
Yeah.
In terms of my opinion, what I seen on social media. And I'm not gonna lie, the drama is crazy. I was like, oh, like...
It's a next level. Like,
it's some next level stuff. And even before the funny thing is, even before I actually watched the show, I heard people talking. And not just social media. Like, I'll just be standing and my sister or my friend would just start talking about the Jocelyn's Cabaret. And they'll tell me about the clips that they seen. And it was kind of more of a toxic, like you see Jocelyn in this limelight where she's treating these women as if she was a pimp. I
feel demeaned watching those clips.
Right, and that's why I want to get.
I'm like, damn, I feel like a hoe. I feel like because the way she does them is crazy.
You know what? And that's crazy that you even say that you feel that way, because a lot of people that's watching these shows, they're, you know, developing these same patterns, and they thinking that the way you react on this social media reality TV show is the way you react in real life. A lot of people think like that, but besides that point, I just want to say I didn't want to watch it. I'm not gonna lie. But it's so enticing. I'm not going to act like I'm this angel and everything. I tapped in, and I guess it don't matter.
Tap
I didn't
in.
pay for the subscription.
No.
I didn't use somebody's login. So
that's something you pay for. That's something you get somebody's password to see that shit. If I ever tap into Zeus, I'm not paying for that shit.
But that was me justifying me watching that show. It was like, I'm not paying for it. So it's not like Zeus Network is getting another $5.99 from me. Which, you know, toot your horn.
Right.
But I ended up watching it, and I was right. I watched definitely season 1 and season 2 all episodes, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And honestly, I didn't feel good watching it. I was entertained.
Yeah.
And I just feel like that's a bad thing in itself. Yeah. Even though I know this is not good for me, and I'm seeing these images, even though I know what's right from wrong and I'm aware, I'm still basically perpetrating the popularity behind Jocelyn's Cabaret, if that makes sense.
No, I get that. I mean, it's nothing to feel guilty about, because I think we all have those guilty pleasures. Like for me, like I know if I was to watch it, I will get wrapped into it. That's why I haven't even made the conscious decision to do it. But like I said, if I was ever at a friend's house or something like that, and I'm not gonna lie, there were moments where I was like, you know what, maybe I should do it. But like I said, I already have my guilty pleasure, my trash TV that I, you know, watch. But
that's a good way to describe it. Trash TV.
You know, we have those things that, you know, it's guilty pleasures, you know what I mean? And we're all growing and learning, you know, and we're gonna come to a point, I mean, especially if you're doing the work, you're gonna evolve beyond those things. But I feel like we already are. We just have those certain things that we still like to feed into, you know what I mean? And it's okay as long as you're a conscious watcher. Like you're someone you're very conscious of, okay, this is not right, this is wrong, and you just see it as entertainment. But for the bigger scheme of things, it's all about what is it doing for our community. And I feel like when it comes to watching those things and seeing the clippers out, because I watch the clippers on Twitter, that's good enough for me. You know, I see what I'm like, damn, this shit is crazy. Even with the newest one, the baddies of South, something like that,
yeah.
And even watching the clippers of the Bad Boys Club, it's like depicting black women, and black gay men in the most basic light, like the most stereotypical light. And I feel like even when I was watching his interview. And because I know he had a show with Santana that was coming out, the way he spoke about Santana, he like, yeah. So he was like, yeah, you have a show with Santana. He said,
Lemmy Plummer.
Yeah, he was like, yeah, Santana is very interesting. I'm like, I can tell he was talking about a gay man as if he was some type of skeptical.
What do you mean by that?
Like his tone was very much like. He's very interesting. Like, yeah, he's an interesting individual.
I get what you're saying.
It's like he wasn't like, and I understand it, like, because he probably doesn't have gay friends or he doesn't associate himself with gay men. So my point is, if he's not gonna care about the depiction of a black gay man, you know, he only knows it from what his standpoint and viewpoint is. He just knows, oh, Santana's hot. I can make some money off of him.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So I feel like he's not taking care of the way he depicts gay men and also. Black woman, and I feel like that's a huge issue. As even though he is giving them a better deal, I know he said he talks about the you know Jocelyn and all these people get a better cut. They're also helping producing the show, but at what cost? That's what I'm saying. Like, what is the cost?
You already took it there.
Yeah.
We should definitely dive into each shows because. You just touched on a crazy point of how gay men are being depicted on reality television. It is this kind of one way.
Let me ask you, as a woman, as a black woman, did it change your perspective of what of a stereotypical gay black man was watching it?
No, only because I have gay friends in all type of energies and personalities. It's not just loud and obnoxious all the time.
But I'm saying, if you had not had that experience and watched that show, would you feel like it would change the?
Of course, definitely. If I didn't go to a theater arts high school and I didn't have a lot of friends of different backgrounds, then yeah. And if I only seen what I seen on Zeus Network and reality TV shows, I would think that every black gay man is loud and obnoxious, and they always got to be in your face with it.
Right.
And there's nothing wrong with that, but it's just that's not only one way of how a gay man or LGBTQ person lives their life, you know what I'm saying? So, but I just want to say one thing, right?
Yeah.
So I watched the Jocelyn's Cabaret season 1, season 2, and when I was watching the first season or the first few episodes, I liked it because I'm like, okay, I never seen Jocelyn as this person that's about her money.
Yeah.
You see her, she's a part of this project. She has this image, she was doing a cabaret. I thought it was really nice that she was getting these women to get these opportunities to depict or display their talent in a way that's cohesive and working together. So I like that, and I will give kudos to Jocelyn, but the way she went about it was horrible. And the crazy thing that had exploded on Zeus Network was when the reunion or the uncut scenes of her
and Ballas.
Of her and, who's the girl?
Ballistic. But no, Ballistic was part of it. Amber.
Amber. So Amber.
I don't even watch the show, but I know the names.
Right. But that's the sad thing. Like, all you hear is Jocelyn beating up this young woman, Amber, who Amber also expressed that she didn't feel comfortable with being called nigga, this and that. Yeah. And right after Jocelyn calls her nigga, and then like 2 episodes later, they end up getting into a fight. So, honestly, when that dropped, I was like, yeah. I cannot watch Jocelyn's Cabaret anymore because this is crazy, and I don't want.
There was a lot of racism and colorism in that season too.
Yes,
especially when it comes to the Hispanic and the black thing, like that right there is like friction. It's causing more friction. Sorry to cut you off.
No, that's a good point too. Because even at the end of the Cabaret, all you see is only light skinned Spanish women. It was Jocelyn. If you wanted to get light skinned Cabaret, you just could have just went to the Dykeman or in the Heights. You know what I'm saying? You didn't have to waste people's time. Or waste Amber's time.
And to tear black women in the midst of it.
Oh, yeah, and tear them or, just display your toxic masculinity on them. I don't even want to say masculinity, but, it's just very toxic behavior where you feel like you have to have power over them. But, so that was one show. Then you have
but going into that show, because I want to say on the top of that show, because I feel like that show has so much potential, not only because Jocelyn has potential. Because, I remember watching VH1, even though Jocelyn was, problematic, we could tell that she was a star. Yeah, she was the reason why we was coming on. So I love to see that. I was excited to see that she was growing, because even before that, I think within the same season or before the season, she had the song release, Do Like You'll Be There. And, is he a great artist? No. But was it so uncratchy? And was I proud to see that, because that's been her dream,
Yeah.
And if you watch and you kind of had some type of like relationship with Jocelyn, you know what I mean? For me personally, if you watch, you felt for her because you've seen all the things that she's been through. Mm-hmm. To see her come out of that and then have that song come out and do the numbers that was doing, the streaming, and then even have Issa Rae put it on her show.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Exactly. And then to have the show coming in out, I was like, yo, this is perfect. I feel like, with the whole concept of Jocelyn Cabaret was brilliant because it's brilliant marketing because, like you said, she's bringing these girls on. They get to, well, if I was producing, this is how it would go. They was telling their stories. It would be more authentic and raw. And then, like you said, it's still a competition show, so of course they compete to win. But Jocelyn Cabaret couldn't even let her to have a Vegas residency, like a full out Vegas residency.
Yeah.
Like she could have created a lane for herself.
But no way, she does. Well, I don't know if she has a residency, but I know she tours. She has toured in Los
I know,
Vegas.
but I'm talking about she could have got signed with like Caesar Palace, Planet Hollywood. I'm talking about those.
Not Caesar Palace.
No, not Caesar Palace, but I'm talking about one. They have multiple dealerships. But
I'm throwing shade. She probably could have been somewhere, but
yeah, but I'm saying
Palace.
like the production, like she could have got really funded, like to do a. Because Vegas, they like stuff like that.
Yeah,
and she
so
could have
theatrical.
She could have offered a new market. You know what I mean? And I really seen that for her. I'm just saying. But I feel like with her, she's definitely going through something. She's still suffering depression, drug addiction, trauma. And I don't know if Dallas is ideal for their relationship, but it seems like it's adding fuel to the fire. Mm-hmm. And I feel like with that predicament, if you're going to sign somebody onto this show with her history, especially with drug use and stuff like that, they should have first made sure she was on a year of therapy before she got signed, and continue on with some type of therapy throughout the session. That could have been a part of her contract, because fame is a drug and definitely is taking a toll on her. And I feel like the reason why she's acting out in these negative ways because she's still in this fame machine and she got people saying yes people, and the drugs and all that type of stuff is still playing a factor into how she's displaying herself.
That's interesting you brought up that point because a lot of people, when we have these discussions about who Jocelyn is, a lot of people do bring up her past because, she didn't have an easy life. Her mother, well, I don't know nothing about her mother. I just know that she was in the streets a lot.
Yeah.
She was a stripper. At certain points, there was accusations that she was selling herself. That Stevie J was her pimp, and there was a lot of stuff like that, and so people say that's why she treats these women like that. But that's
why I said therapy is needed.
Yes,
mental
therapy
health
is needed, and also as a person of Lemma Plummer who has the knowledge, and
especially as a black man too,
you should know
and mental health.
You should know what you're putting on to Zeus. Like you can't turn a blind eye to what you're creating. You know what I'm saying?
I feel like I said he has the right platform because he could just be intentional about the things he do. Give her the show, but as a producer, you navigate where the show is going.
Yeah. So
he's letting all this shit happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even when it came to Black China and his Black China and her mom show, that's another show that had the potential because you see, we knew Black China's mom and their relationship, and that's a big conversation about Black women and Black moms and their toxic. That I said again, another show that could have been navigated differently. Bad Boys Club. It could have been navigated differently. Show Black men in a different way. Yeah, because let's talk about that show and then we got to move forward with
when I went to that show, Bad Boys, and I watched a few episodes. I was like, okay, cool. Like, I never seen a Bad Boys Club. I always seen Bad Girls Club. So it was cool to see how men, come together and live their life, but live their life. But what I would say is that a lot of stuff I was watching on the show was just very sex. And I'm like,
but that's another depiction of gay men.
But I don't see a person constantly think about sex all day. Like I don't see any person unless you're a freaking sex addict.
Yeah.
And so it was kind of a little annoying. And it was just honestly, it was just entertainment. It was nothing I gained from it. It was honestly a mere waste of time.
That's another depiction about gay men. Is that this over sexualized, just like Black women.
Even when Jonathan and Milan was fighting, even when Jonathan and Milan, y'all seen in the clips.
I didn't watch.
Even Jonathan Milan, when Jonathan came to the house and he went in Milan's bedroom, they were sitting across from each other, And, you know, Jonathan said something like, listen, you know, Jonathan was like, oh, listen, I can either have his bedroom or we can share his bed together. And like, even like the way it was shot, the way they was licking their lips, I'm like, first of all, nothing happened. They end up fighting. But why was even the confrontation sexualized? You know what I'm saying?
That's what they do.
It was a
and
little
I feel like it's
annoying.
unfortunate because like I said, you have black viewers. And not only do you have black viewers, you have black male viewers, men and straight men who probably could possibly watch the show. We don't know. But I feel like this is the opportunity to open the discussion and also allow them to see us differently. You know what I mean?
Right.
And I feel like is this whack? And like even if you like look at like the show itself kind of remind me, I don't know if people are familiar with this, but this is a streaming service called Bigo. And a lot of the it's a streaming service, a lot of streaming service, but a lot of the attention that's gravitated towards the gay black community. And again, it's a very toxic space. And I feel like it was just that on
100,
yeah, on 100, or just giving it like a streaming platform or whatever.
Yeah, everybody felt like they was Wendy Williams on that show. They was freaking violent, cutting ass, tearing that up, all that.
So I feel like so speaking on that, do you have any more points that you want to bring up about that?
No, I mean, you brought up the Black China situation too, and I just felt like that was important too, because he actually, from Limo Plummer's mouth, he said on the Breakfast Club that Black China's and her mother TV show is actually what brought Zeus Network to this popularity. But you know, I was watching some of the clips. I don't watch the actual shows, and it was hard to see because, like you said, you're seeing a black mother, a black single mother, and her daughter who's grown up, but you kind of seen the trauma and them trying to heal. But you know, because of reality,
they weren't paying in the space to do the healing.
Yeah, exactly. That's as simple as I could put it.
Yeah.
It wasn't, and honestly, what I felt like is that it was so depicted of the violence and the hateful words that a lot of teens, a lot of young black women feel like that's okay to talk to their mothers. I've seen viral world star videos where you'll see all type of crazy languages talk to your mother. And I'm not saying like respect is not earned, but also, you know, respect is kind of given when it comes to your parent and your mother that brought you into this world. And I'm not saying that you have to be or happy with the person that is disrespecting you. Right. There's still a type of grace and boundary that you should show yourself when you're on national television as well, and when you're this type of icon, because Black China does have a big following, and a lot of young black women follow her.
Now call you an icon?
Well, no, listen, oh Lord, not icon. I don't want to say icon,
but what you say, because that word icon is used a little bit too loosely.
You're right. She ain't Rihanna, but I will say she's a big social influencer.
Yes,
and that's it.
Yeah, definitely. Especially when it comes to the world of reality TV and even social media. All right, but so this brings up even going down into the larger topic, because I feel like with him, now that we discussed all these things, and even like I said, watching his interviews, I was a little bit caught up. I was like, okay, he has a great intention, but also I feel like it was a lot of manipulation of the things that he was saying. I feel like we have so many times, we've seen so many times where black people who are in the position of power are exploiting us for their own personal gain, material gain. And I feel like my question is having black people put in the positions of power in this industry, is that enough?
It is. No, it is. Yes or no?
And also, do you think he forgetting his goal?
So the thing is, I don't want to say I know his goal, because his being a cable company is cool, but we still don't know his agenda behind that. What is his purpose of him having a cable company? What does he want to show? He never actually stated that in an interview. You know what I'm saying? He did say that for the Zeus Network, he likes the ability to put more power and more money into the people that's actually being on the show. This way they have more titles on the name, they have more responsibilities. Cool. I don't know how that would be when it comes to the cable company and network. I will say that I will say that black people having these platforms is a great thing, but also we have to hold them accountable. And you know, you have a lot of black people like Tyler Perry that will be on this show.
He's another one.
People will like praise him and stuff, but like, who's really holding him accountable? And honestly, I will shout out to Monique.
Shout out to Monique.
Talking about Monique,
because I feel Monique embodies TLKInfamous. She's one because we talk about how so many much she does. She's someone who is brash. She say what she feels. She speaks from a place of truth. Her truth. Yeah. Let me be specific. Yeah. Her truth. And she's unapologetic and authentic.
I will say Monique needs to work on her timing because
She do.
I've definitely seen on the blogs not always, but ranting on her performances and stuff when people came to see her entertain. But at the end of the day, she feels like she needs to speak her truth because nobody's saying anything, and it's about holding people accountable because you see if like somebody F up like Amber Heard, you're gonna see the blogs tear her down, and I don't agree with cancel culture, but and honestly, white people, Caucasians now have taken upon themselves, and corporates have taken upon themselves to curate what is cancel culture.
Yeah, that's true.
But cancel culture really came from the black community, letting you know this is not right. We don't do this, Uncle Tom. We don't do this. We don't deal with this Karen stuff. But that's what I really think. It's us holding black people accountable.
Right. I think so too, and I feel like it's all about intention. He has to be very more intentional with the stuff that he's producing going forward. Like I said, I would like to believe that, like I said, he has a platform, he has all the resources, but he has to be more intentional moving forward. I think, like you said, we have to hold him accountable because, like you said, there's plenty of shows that offer different things, I guess, on the network, but he needs to market them better, and he has to really, he has to, there's a lot of black creators out here. There's no excuses. He can hire black creatives to produce better content. I mean, if you want to create the space but still have that reality stuff and stuff like that, but also spill your resources and your money into projects that is going to push the culture forward. You know what I mean?
I love that. I'm
just going to end off of that note. Do you have anything else you want to say?
No, you said it best.
But
tune in to TLKInfamous. Follow us for all the episodes on YouTube, Instagram, and all that jazz.
It's great seeing you guys. Peace.